Joining us now is New York Times movie critic Alissa Wilkinson. Good to have you with us.
Thanks. It's so good to be here.
So Robert Redford was a legend. His career spanned decades, from the charming outlaw in Butch Cassidy and the Sundance Kid to the slick con man in The Sting, and even the morally complex villain in the Marvel films, both Captain America, the Winter Soldier, and of course, Avengers Endgame. This was one of his last roles in a feature film. Let's play it.
May I ask you where you're going?
The lunch and then Asgard. I'm sorry, you are?
Alexander Pierce. He's the man above the folks behind Nick Fury. My friends call me Mr. Secretary. I'm going to have to ask you to turn that prisoner over to me.
What does his range say about not just his talent, but his willingness to challenge himself with different kinds of roles?
I think his career is really interesting that way. You know, Redford definitely had those amazing movie star looks, and he always came off as a really intelligent, kind of ruggedly handsome star and could have really coasted in those kinds of roles. But you see him playing all kinds of different roles. Sometimes he's, a CIA analyst who's trying to crack the case, and sometimes he's a journalist who's trying to, bring justice in the face of power, and sometimes he's the romantic lead who's wooing the leading lady, and he's kind of a complicated man. And so you see all these different kinds of roles, and it really shows that he was interested in embodying different kinds of masculinity, I think. And it's one of the reasons that I think people think of him as the quintessential Hollywood leading man, the quintessential Hollywood star.
And his legacy is enormous. He founded the Sundance Institute to support independent filmmakers. How did that move change the landscape of American cinema? And can you point to filmmakers today that clearly trace their roots back to Redford's vision for the Sundance Film Festival?
Sure. So he founded the Sundance Institute in 1981, and the Institute and the festival have been linked, although they were created separately at first. So the Sundance Institute brings filmmakers and eventually artists, theater makers, writers, actors together to be mentored by established artists, to work on screenplays, to, kind of bring their visions to fruition. And one thing that was always really exciting about the Sundance Institute is that Redford's idea was that it was really important to make sure that artists who either had maybe a challenging artistic vision that, maybe didn't fit within the Hollywood mainstream, or who didn't fit at all the kind of artists who often get the funding or, get the chance to make work. It was important that their voices and their stories got told as well. And that would extend to, scripted work, to documentary, to things that kind of lived in the middle.
And we've heard from so many wonderful actors and activists today paying tribute, from Leonardo DiCaprio, who's also a well-known environmentalist, to Jane Fonda, one of his leading ladies. How do you think Robert Redford might want to be best remembered?
I was lucky enough to be around him a few times at the Sundance Institute in different activities that I was there for. And every time I heard him speak, and every time I saw him interact with artists, I saw the care that he had for the individual person and their individual perspective, whatever that perspective was. He really wanted to foster that and make sure that people felt like they were being heard and that their creativity was something that was valued, while also a strong commitment to the truth and a strong commitment to looking for the ways that, we can bring that truth to a larger audience and make sure that people are exposed to it. So I think that for him, that's what Sundance was about. That's what being part of the film world was about. That's what being an activist was about. And those things are all very much woven together. And it's been really beautiful today to see all of these people really reflecting that back in their remembrances of him, and also to, remember how much that was woven both into his on-screen roles and also into all the work that he did off-screen.
Robert Redford was 89 years old, and our thoughts are with his friends and family. Alissa Wilkinson, thanks so much for your time. I appreciate it.
Thank you.
We're going to take a short break. We'll be right back.